It was Bama 45-40 2 years ago. It was Clemson 35-31 3 years ago. Clemson Bama Part 3. I'm Ralph Michaels from WagerTalk.com, joined with Marco and Preston. We are talking about the three-peat. Clemson got there. We all expected them, the number one seed. Bama, off a loss, playing with revenge. You don't hear those words very often. Preston, your take.
Well, I lost a lot of money on a Bama future last year, so you're reminding me with the score repetition at the beginning of the video. Made me angry. Now I'm on tilt for the luckily, this isn't my best bet. It's Marco's. I will say I'm surprised the total was only 47. I was surprised Alabama actually opened pick or even +1 a couple spots. It settled back into where I think it's closer, as far as the spread goes, with Bama laying 2.5 most spots. It's a weird game because there was so much controversy over who was even going to be in the number 4 spot. And I think it was unfortunate for Clemson's sake that they are in the one taking on, whether it was Alabama or Ohio State, probably the next two best power-rated teams, in the country, rather than Oklahoma or Georgia. So Clemson kind of got the short end of the stick here, drawing the best team in the country in the first round.
I'm going to go totally off kilt here. So what about this for a rule? If you're the number one seed, you get to pick to who you want to play.
Who you want to play?
Yeah, how about that? Marco, I'll tell you what, the thing that looked, when I looked over this game and I looked at Clemson through the year, Kelly Bryant was sacked 4 times, 4 different occasions. Against Auburn, which is a very good D-line, and then on the road at Louisville, at Syracuse, and against Miami of Florida in the championship. That scares me playing this Bama defense.
Yeah, well, the Bama defense had some injuries at the end of the season. Now they're going to have a month to get healthy if they can, and even if they don't, at least they've got a month to adjust to what they have to work with. And we know, and we talk about it every year when we're at the beginning of the season and we're saying, well, hey, Alabama's only bringing back X number of starters. How many times have we said it? They get all blue chippers. I mean, this is a team that can reload, so they'll adjust to the positions, because I know some teams were able to run the football later on them down the stretch. But people have blasted this Alabama schedule. Hey, do you remember at the beginning of the season when we were talking that opening game against Florida State, how it was the greatest opening game that we've had in college football and how long you had number 1 versus number 2 to start the season? It's not their fault that Florida State's quarterback got hurt at the beginning of the season and their season went out.
Yeah, it is.
It kind of is.
You understand what I mean, though. But, everybody's criticizing the schedule. Mercer, before the SEC championship week, against before they played Auburn, that's a joke. That needs to stop with these teams, the powerhouse schools, scheduling a team like that late in the season. It's an additional bye week.
But other teams could do that. Ohio State played UNLV. Everyone's playing a very weak foe. Them doing it later in the year, I don't see anything wrong with them changing their schedule to set it up to have the bye in the week. But that's another discussion for another time.
It is.
Yeah.
We talked about, you said, the sequel, this is part 3. And generally, I know you guys, like movies. I like movies. Sequels generally don't live up to the first movie. Sequel's never as good. But last year's sequel was as good. This year, I don't think it's going to be as good. And the one element that you had last year, and both games were exciting. Both games came right down to the final, series, get the job in it, get the touchdown. It came down, Deshaun Watson kept Clemson in both games. Now, Kelly Bryant's had a good year, much better than anybody expected. And nobody thought Clemson would be where they're at, having to replace Deshaun Watson. And we saw what he did in the NFL till he got hurt. And sorry, Preston, I know you had the Rookie of the Year.
Just rub it in this video.
But to lose him in this game, I think, is the difference maker. It's not often that you get to have revenge, for losing a national championship. Now, the sad part is this isn't for the national championship. One of these teams is done. We would have liked to have seen this maybe for, all the marbles for a third time. But I think Alabama gets the job done here. I think the defense will be okay. Give Nick Saban a month to prepare. Kelly Bryant's going to have his work cut out for him.
Tell you what, no one else is as good as Dabo Swinney, though, preparing. So he gets certainly the credit. Well,
I think Dabo Swinney's the best coach in college football right now over Nick Saban.
Saban just has more talent to prep. It's Marco's best bet. Alabama in part 3, of course, they're playing down in the Sugar Dome in SEC country. Marco says they get the job done. And folks, our bowl package is normally $295. You're saving $100 now, just $195 this week only. The bowls start next Saturday, but make sure you sign up now. I know Preston O'Reilly has an early 5% best bet up. You'll get that as soon as you sign up. WagerTalk.com.